shapes, you're gonna be starting Unit 3. So you can give this, there is a link here. You can just, this is how you're gonna share it. So there's 3 dots right here, right at the bottom. And share, and you copy the link. And you can share it to your students' parents. Just like that. And just say, Andy can practice before class, and there's audio there.
Like, dislike, dislike.
And they like it because they can prepare and they can have somewhat of, an idea of what the lesson would be. And they're going to know how to say the words. Is very important for them because they're kind of like very scared, especially if it's the first time that they're going to be having an English class online. So this is going to be, they're going to like this. If you tell the parents that you have flashcards every time you start a new unit, they're going to love that. With audio, yes. So here it goes. Another way that I use the flashcards is if you are starting a main lesson and you think the student is having a hard time saying the word, you can just go and open up the flashcard and you're just going to do it one by one. You do listen. Okay, let's listen. And then you're going to say it and you're going to have the kids say it. So it's very, very good to say the word many times because it's hard for them. Like the way they say it is different from their native language. And the retention, it also helps with the vocabulary retention. So you just go water. So you say it slower first, slow, water, and then you can make it a little faster, water, and you go water, 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 right? You can make it fun. Yes, so that's the flashcards. Thanks for the question, Steph. Let's see if we have more questions. I have questions here too that I can.
We had the questions we had actually I can't see now because those restarted the Zoom. And the same with the Facebook as well. So
I have a question.
Oh, someone's got a question. Joy.
All right.
Hello, Ma'am Joy. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
I'm an ESL teacher in Jansan, General Santos City.
Hello.
Hello. I'm teaching Chinese learners, young Chinese learners, and I've been using English Bright ESL on the Classin app. And my students love it, actually. They love the interactivities. And I'm just wondering if you have any more tips or alternatives, platforms for a smoother interactive and lesson experience for us.
Thank you for that question. Yes. So you're using Classin. I've used it a few times. So, but I've got a lot of questions about this because I know a lot of you guys are using Classin. It is a great tool. However, when you're screen sharing, it could be a little, slow. You can use the pen tool, or you have to keep in mind though that when you're using Classin, your students won't be able to do the interactivity. But that's okay if your students are littles.
Yes, po.
Yeah. So if you want, you can use Zoom, you can use VooV. This works especially well for students in China. So if you can, let me share my VooV here. So if you have VooV, you can just, oh, I'm sorry. All right, okay. Now So you can use VOOV. I like it. I use it maybe 90% of the time. And you can use, there is one, I've used it maybe just a couple of times. It's called Koala Go. It's super fun. It's like you are in a virtual world. You can see yourself. You can create your avatar. Your student can create an avatar. But I think there is a fee for that. It's not free, but you can check that out. But if you just want the smoother interaction experience, Zoom will work pretty good. And like what I mentioned in, who asked that question about the pen tool? The pen tool would really just make it fine. So Zoom and VOOV, you can kind of play around with that. What you would find out, like if you use Zoom, maybe it is slower in China, in some areas and regions in China. So you would want to switch. You have VOOV as your backup, right? Class in. So yeah, you can use the pen tool, and that's what I do, and it's just fine. Thanks
you,
for the
teacher.
question. Thanks,
Thank
Melody.
you.
All right, we got some more questions here. Do you have any resources that focus on building conversational skills for intermediate students? That's from Marie Shira.
Okay, intermediate. All right, yes. We have level 4. I use level 4 for that. Conversational. We have all our lessons. We have that section where you can ask just questions about your topic that would make them speak, would give them the chance to kind of freely think, right? Let me get you here. Let's try Asia. So my students really like the geography lessons. And this is super fun too. The lesson is really fun. I really like it when presenting it to my student. So let me show you how I do it, okay? Just to add more spice in it. So I say, okay, we're gonna be flying to one of the countries in Asia today. And so we go here. All right, so let's just say we did that. And then I'm gonna say, all right, let's skip the review. So do you have any guesses where we're going today? And then we go right here and just look how cool that is. And they love that. We're gonna go to Japan. And then I would go, welcome. And we go start learning about Japan. And I go, let's see what we can learn from the country Japan. Japan is in Asia. So we go click that. And then I'll have the student read it. All right, so let's say you've done all the vocabulary part, sentence patterns. You go to let's talk. So this is where you can kind of let your student talk, right? Give them the chance to talk or help them get those words out. So you say, what would you like to write or draw using calligraphy? So this word has been taught in this lesson. So this is part of your vocabulary target. So calligraphy. So they understand this word already, right? And then if they just say one word, always remember to encourage them to answer in a complete sentence, okay? They get a habit of just saying one word because they just don't want to say it. They just I don't know, but a lot of them just say one, they just answer in one word. What would you like? My name. So have them say, I would like to write my name. And you can kind of scribble here, right? So I don't know how to do that. Calligraphy. And you can ask questions like, have you attended a calligraphy class before? And then if they say yes, and you can ask questions like, what kind of pens do you use, or stuff like that. Or if they're really excited, if they've done it before, they would even show you an example of a calligraphy thing that they've done. Another ways you can strengthen the conversational practice, we got say more here. Let me see. All right, so you can ask this question. This may be a little harder for some to answer. When you think it's hard for them to answer the question, you have to model it. So you answer it. So you can say, you can kind of, you have to show them that it's okay to think, and you can be patient, give them time to think. Okay, what is the most interesting story you ever wrote or created? They say no, right? I've never written a story before. So you can share, oh, I wrote a story about a turtle, right? And then they're probably gonna think like, oh yes, I wrote a story about something like this, because they heard you answer, and then you gave them an idea on how to answer the question. So they would probably copy exactly how you say it, but just change what the story was about. You can also do a little bit of speaking activity with a vocabulary. Let me just go right here. We're teaching Japan, right? So you say, okay, Japan. Have you been to Japan before? You can also share more pictures. If you think they have no idea what Japan is, you can kind of show them like, the sakura trees, the animes, all the famous characters in Japan. And they would say, okay, so this is what it is, Japan. All right. So I think, it's like there isn't really a recipe on how you can incorporate that. You get it as you teach and use the lesson every single day. You learn every class. What I do is I teach, but I also am so open into learning in every lesson. No matter how many times I've taught this Japan, I always learn something. And you can do that. You just be open and learn every single lesson, and you can be better. If you've taught this 100 times, then I'm sure you can just wing it. You don't even have to prepare. Just get this Japan lesson and you're going to be good at it. So it just be patient with yourself, and you can just easily incorporate conversational practice in every single activity here. All right, is there any more questions? Because I have some questions.
Here's one from Facebook. You offer phonics activities that make letter learning sounds more engaging. That is from Margaret.
Yes. All right. So phonics. I've taught phonics almost every day. So yes, that is here, level 1. I love this so much because it's super fun to the little. I'm gonna show you how fun it is. Yes, we have that, and let me just go to the contents. So right here. So why this is so cool. This is about weather. And then I say, do you see rainbows? And they say, yes. How many rainbows do you see? Right? So here, you're incorporating speaking, right? Conversation. How many rainbows do you see? And then they would say 2. Yes, 1, 2. So you say 1, 2. Let's see what these rainbows got for us today. And you click it. Ooh. A says, right? And then you click the other rainbow. B says, and click this one, and look what happens here. Yeah, so you have to show them that you're also enjoying it, okay? Because it would be so your energy, your happy mood would be very infectious. So you just want to have that too. Like if you show them like you're enjoying it, they would enjoy it too. So you go here. Let's read words with a b sound. So you go. This is how I do it with them. You're gonna go. Oh, you can't see that. Wait a minute. And you go tab. If they don't get it, you can do it this way too. And you do a little plus sign there. And you go. Right? And you do equals. And you go like that. And they go. Ab. And you go to the next one. You do it the same way. So you have to be very patient with this. Because most of them won't get it right away because they're still observing and kind of their brain's still trying to study that. And that's okay. You just keep on rolling and you go here and you practice. If they don't repeat, it's okay. Just move on and model it to them. You can do all the letters. Ab. Fab, right? And then go on and do all that. And maybe in your next session, they would do it. So if they're unsure, they will not say it. So you just keep on going. It's like you just Dora it. That's what our term is. Dora. Just Dora it. They don't say anything and just keep on going. So yes, we have really, really fun phonics activities. That was from who? Margaret. Thank you for asking that question. Any more questions? I have here a question from Michelle. And Michelle is from Bukit Timah Road in Singapore. And she asks, any ideas on how I can extend pronunciation practice using English Bride? Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's talk about a fun strategy. I think I've always mentioned this in our live, the role playing, the dialogues. We have that in, I think, level 2. Yes. So I really like this. You can really make use of this in their pronunciation as a pronunciation practice. So let's go to the dialogue. You're going to role play with the characters. So if you have Rusty and Cora, You can use different voices and expressions. So your expressions, your face is very important because they see that, right? Especially if you're teaching online. Your expressions, your face, you probably will not think that, but it is very, very important. So let's go to the dialogue. Okay? How are you going to use that to extend the pronunciation activity? Where's the dialogue here? Here we go. So let's try this one. You have Cora and Marla. So you will have them choose. Do you want to be Cora or Marla? At this stage or at this level, they kind of know how to talk. So they would say, I want to be Marla. Okay. So you say, I am Cora. Click the spoon here. And you are going to be Cora. Okay. You're not teacher Joy. You are Cora. So you say, what I do here, if I'm using VOOV, on VOOV, you can move your picture. Like you see me right now, I am like right here by Cora. What I do is, let me show you how I do it with, oh, you can actually do it with Zoom too. Let me see if that works. So I do this. I replace Cora's head with my head. And so I pretend I'm Cora and I say, Marla, how and they like that. You would see a smile on their face when you start doing that. And then you say, your turn. And then they're going to read that, choose another pen color just for fun. And they go, no. They would not probably animate their voice if they're a little too shy. And that's okay. But some of them would do it. They would like, you know, follow what you did and be more funny. And you just go like that. And you have to be, you have to listen on how they say the sentence, okay? Because this is a great chance to help them with their pronunciation and intonation and how they say the words, the fluctuation of the words. If they say it like this, no, I haven't, has it been misplaced? It's a big no. I say no. I will have them say it again until they say it with feelings. And you model it to them. You say, no, I haven't. Has it been misplaced? Right? I always show them the question mark. When there is a question mark, it goes like this. Misplaced, right? It's very important to show them that there is music, there's rhythm when they say the words. Another activity that you can use is obviously tongue twisters. And they love it. Most of them. Some of them don't like it. It's kind of like, you know, they feel a lot of pressure because they know I will ask them to say it fast. But that's okay. You can just make it fun for them. So you can have them read it from slow to fast. So I say, let's read it in a normal manner. So I model it. Fixie's mule hums a tune while Marla's mule croons along. And then they would do it, and then you can read it a little faster. If they are shy and they're not really thinking that this is fun, you can just move on and don't have them repeat it. But if you know your student and you know that they're silly, you can have them say this over and over again and really, really fast, and they would love it. Yeah. So those are things I do with my students with pronunciation. What about you guys? What's your go-to trick to helping students with pronunciation? I like the tongue twisters personally. It's just fun and yeah. You have any more questions? Because I have another one here. Okay. Let's see. How to replace the head? Oh, let me show you. How can I show that? You have this bar where you can have, you see the audio, Jean. There is audio, video, participants, and there is that share button there. click the share button, there is a small arrow there. Oh, I'm sorry. No. You click the share button. No, don't click the share button. Sorry. Wait a second. Okay, yeah. You actually just... There is like the green thing. I don't know if it shows green on your end, but you click that and it shows what you're showing. It shows the screen that you're showing to your students. And on the lower right hand corner of that little screen, there is a pen. So you click the pen and it shows you another window, and you have the ability to move your face around. So let me show you that. I'm going to move here. I'm going to move up here. I'm going to move right in the middle. Or I can do it this way too. This is Zoom, feature. They have different layouts. I can do it this way. I can do it this way. But I like doing it this way. I just move my face around if I'm kind of like covering the words or something. But yes. Let me see. Is there any more questions? How is it? Class. Okay.
Do you have any materials for adults?
Adults, I am using for adults, we don't have specifically materials for adults yet, but we are going to do that. Right now, what you can do is go to level 5. I'm going to show you why this can be used for adults. Our topics are really, really, really good. They're fun. We have jobs, shopping, air travel, different cultures, eating out, being with nature. So positive thinking. I think this is really good with adults as well, because let me show you here why. You may have to skip some activities that you would think like a little too childish or whatever, and that's okay. You can just, let's see here. So topic is, so yes, obviously if you have an adult, you're not going to do the singing. You can just skip right away. You can just go right here, right? And this positive thinking, you can have questions about this, open-ended questions like, why do you think positive thinking is very important? And so you can open up a conversation there with your adult students. So this level 5 and 6 are good for teenagers and adults. So yes, I love the topics here. I think I wanna, if I were a student, I would love to be in this class. All right.
Got a question from Yurin. If I want to assess my students' comprehension after a lesson, do you have a quick quiz or templates or interactive assessments?
All right. Before I would answer that, I have not, I didn't really mention how to win the one-on-one coaching session with me. If you like me, you can join. So what you can do, giveaway time, win a one-on-one coaching session with me for free. Like this live on any platform you're watching from. Share it publicly on Facebook with the hashtag. Okay, let me do it here so you won't miss it. Your hashtag will be EB free coaching. All right. And once you've done that, just type shared, the word shared in the comments so we can count your entry. But if you're with us on Zoom, you're automatically in. But if you'd like to boost your chances, go ahead and share this live. Okay, so what's the question again? How to assess my student comprehension after a lesson. Do you have a quick quiz template or interactive assessment? Comprehension. Are you talking about... Wait a second. Let me just think this through, okay? Quick quiz templates. So we have the knowledge checks for that. What I do with the knowledge checks, if you've been teaching the child for a while, you can kind of gauge how much knowledge they have, let's say with vocabulary. So you could kind of skip the vocabulary part. So this is our assessment, the knowledge check. You can go to contents. So we have the contents, so you can just jump to whatever page or slide you want to do it. But you also have this ability where you can, this is how I do it too. If I don't use the contents, I just go here, right? So that's collapsed. You click this and you click the show pages. And so you're going to say, okay, stage 1. Let's say your student's name is Maria. Maria knows the vocabulary, so we don't need to do that. But she doesn't know her sight words. So you go here, right? Well, she knows her vocabulary. Let's just do the sentence patterns. So you go here. Let's see. If your student is on a higher level, they have the stories there. And there are comprehension questions as well. And that is a great way to actually assess their comprehension level, whether they can answer the question or not, right? Yes. Any more questions? Let me see. B2. T outside. Okay, I've answered that. All right, I have now, wait a second. I have this question here from, okay, this is a really good question. Okay, so one question is from Fumiko. So Fumiko is from Tokyo. Hello, Tokyo, Japan. So Fumiko said, I love teaching online, but I often feel overworked and burnt out. How do you manage this? Very good question. Bauha has a question, but let's just focus on Fumika's question here. Thank you for this honest question. I've been there, and sometimes I still am. Teaching back-to-back classes, squeezing every free moment, and thinking, I can handle more students, right? But the truth is, burnout doesn't hit you all at once. It builds slowly until suddenly you feel dreading logging in for a class. You love the job, but you're running on empty, right? And you do not want that. So here's what I recommend, and here's what I'm doing. I have not perfected this yet, but I'm getting better. So you schedule breaks like appointments and you honor them. I'm going to show you. I don't really like showing my schedule, but I will show you here, and I'll show you what I meant by that, okay? The breaks. I'll just show a little bit of it. Wait a sec. Okay, not this is all, this is a whole bit of it. So here, So this is Ella. I have Ella's class. And I put on my schedule the word break because I need to see it. You have to see it like it's part of your schedule that you have to have a break. Here's a break. I put a break here. Right? So when you look at your schedule, it's kind of, you feel good about it, you know? But in the beginning, you're not going to think that because you just want to do the class. You just, oh my gosh, there's a student. Go, 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 go. Accept this student. You just want to do this class, and you don't want to miss any class because you were thinking, I still can do this. I have 9 right now. I think I can do 10, right? So schedule breaks like appointments, and you have to honor them. Okay, Fumiko, if you're doing 10 classes back to back means after this, there's another one, this, another one, this, another one. So 10 classes, I think if you can give up 1 slot and use that time to breathe, okay? If you cannot do that, take at least 1 full day off a week. And if that's possible, at least block a day, just block a day or 2 per month for you. Because when you're well rested and energized, you show up better for your students and for yourself as well. So I have a question. When was the last time you took a full day off from teaching? You have to be honest. Okay? Yes. Fumiko, thank you again for that question, and do not forget yourself. Yes, do that one. That really was very helpful for me, the schedule, and you actually put the break there. So you can read it. When you open up your schedule, you remind yourself, I need to take a break, right? All right, so here, Bauha, I think this would be our last question for today, okay? We will have another live session, so we can save those questions for next week. Yes, Teacher Melody agreed. Okay, so Bauha said, my very young student was starting to engage and participate, but suddenly she doesn't want to take part at all. What should I do? So Bauha, your student is young, very, very young. I'm not sure how old, but yes, this is pretty normal. But if you're not used to teaching little ones, this could be a little confusing for you as a teacher. It's like, what should I do? You've exerted all the energy there, and then finally the student started to engage, and then answering questions and all this, but then the student is like back to zero. Young ESL learners can also experience regression, okay? Especially when there has been a change in routine. Like, were you absent for a few days? Or did the student miss several classes? It could impact how, the engagement of the student will be. So my advice is to stay consistent, okay? Stay consistent. Just do what you've been doing. You have to be energetic. So when you have very little ones, I think, I don't want to say that, I don't want to say this, but I think I've taught so many little ones, and you need to be energetic. It is a requirement to be energetic, okay? And let the student see that you're genuinely happy to have them in class. If possible, you try saying a simple phrase in their native language. Like, what I do is I go to Google Translate, and I will type, you can say, I'm so happy to be your teacher. I'm so happy to be your teacher, and say it in their language. And they would probably laugh because you're not saying it correctly. You can tell them, I'm so happy to see you today, right? Sometimes just showing warmth and consistency can help them feel safe and re-engage. So yes, just be consistent and stay energetic and be happy. Yes. So I think that would be, if maybe if you have any more, one more, I could probably answer one more question.
I think that's it. I can't see any. I'm sure there are, but I can't. What I'm looking on, I don't see any. So I think you could probably wrap it up.
All right, yes. Let us see each other again next week. Oh, and before we go, here's a question I won't answer yet today, okay? But it's a big one, and I want to give it the attention it deserves for our next session. So the question is, wow, I love this question. I'm going to type it so you'll see it. Okay, so here is the question. Oops, sorry. Can you see that? How do you react when people assume ESL teaching is just a side gig? Ooh, I know a lot of you have thoughts on this one, and so do I. But so just set a reminder, tag a fellow teacher, and let's talk about it next week, okay? All right, guys. To every teacher who asked a question, left a comment, or just showed up today, thank you very much. This space exists because of you, you know? Keep showing up, keep sharing your voice, and keep remembering that your impact is bigger than you know. So until next time, stay bright, stay bold, and happy teaching, everyone. Thank you for being here. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Melody, Julie, Ava, Yeren. Yeah, we'll see each other again next week. All right, bye guys. You have a great day.